rice paddies, and rock and roll. A wacky look at the Vietnam War. All right, history buffs, grab your tie-dye shirts and your protest signs because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the jungles of Vietnam. Get ready for a chaotic, confusing, and ultimately eye-opening journey into a conflict that defined a generation. When dominoes fell and rock and roll roared. Imagine the 1960s, a kaleidoscope of cultural revolution, from the free love of Woodstock to the anti-establishment fervor of campus protests. But amidst the groovy vibes and the psychedelic tunes, a dark cloud loomed: the Vietnam War. This wasn't just a distant conflict. It was a battle for the soul of America, fought in the rice paddies of Southeast Asia and the streets of American cities. The Cold War, a global ideological struggle between the United States and the Soviet Union, was the backdrop for Vietnam. Both superpowers were locked in a battle for influence, with Vietnam becoming a key battleground. The face of Halloween, and why you should vote for me. Before we get any deeper into the thick of it, I need to talk to you all about something super exciting. I'm a contestant in the Face of Halloween competition. The first round of voting ends September 4th, and only the top 20 contestants in each group will make it to round 2. So I need you to head to the link in the description below and use your free daily vote to help me get through. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see what spooky things we can create together with your help. The domino theory. Fear and fallacy in Southeast Asia. The United States' involvement in Vietnam was largely driven by the domino theory, the belief that if one country fell to communism, its neighbors would follow like dominoes. This fear, fueled by the Cold War paranoia, led the U.S. to support South Vietnam against the communist North. Imagine this: a giant map of Southeast Asia with dominoes lined up ready to topple. It's like a historical game of Jenga, where one wrong move could bring the whole thing crashing down. North Vietnam, led by the charismatic Ho Chi Minh, sought to reunify the country under communist rule. South Vietnam, initially supported by France and later by the United States, struggled to maintain its independence. The internal conflict became a proxy war between the superpowers, with devastating consequences. Ho Chi Minh was a complex figure, both a nationalist and a communist. He was admired by many Vietnamese for his role in the struggle for independence, but his communist ideology was viewed with suspicion by the West. Jungle warfare, a nightmare in the rice paddies. The American military, accustomed to conventional warfare, found itself ill-prepared for the guerrilla tactics of the Viet Cong. These North Vietnamese fighters were masters of jungle warfare, using booby traps, ambushes, and tunnels to harass and demoralize the enemy. Imagine this: American GIs, sweating and exhausted, trudging through dense jungle, constantly on edge, never knowing where the next attack might come from. It's like a historical game of hide and seek, but with extremely deadly consequences. The Viet Cong's intimate knowledge of the terrain and their ability to blend in with the civilian population made them a formidable adversary. The use of guerrilla tactics combined with the difficult terrain made it nearly impossible for the U.S. to achieve a decisive victory. Fun fact: the Ho Chi Minh Trail, a network of supply routes running through Laos and Cambodia, was a crucial lifeline for the Viet Cong. Despite heavy bombing by the U.S., the trail remained operational throughout the war. It's like a historical underground railroad, but for military supplies. And the Underground Railroad is historical. Spooktacular October plans and a special delivery. On a more personal note, and speaking of spooky things, Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. To celebrate this October, I'll be sharing some especially spooktacular stories with you every Wednesday of the month. I've been working hard on this because my own little pumpkin will be making her spooky debut very soon. She's due on October 6th or 7th, which means I'll only have about 4 or 5 weeks left by the time this video airs. As you might imagine, things are going to get pretty busy around here with a newborn on board. That's why I've been putting in extra time and effort to get all of our special Halloween videos done for you right now. Our little spooktacular boat baby is the most important thing, and a lot of you have been asking about our baby registries and how you can help. We're registered on Walmart and Amazon, and I'll be leaving the links for both of those in the description below. We haven't really been able to get much yet, just a baby tub and a few blankets, so any help would be incredibly appreciated, though I'm not expecting anything from anyone. Just be clear, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just answering questions. I'll also leave a link to my PayPal in the description if you'd like to send a gift but aren't sure what to get. Thank you all so much for your support. Not just of our family, but of our channel. It means a lot. Rock and roll versus napalm. A nation divided. Back home, the war became increasingly unpopular. The rising death toll, the draft lottery, and the graphic images of war broadcast on television fueled anti-war protests across the country. The counterculture movement, with its emphasis on peace and love, became a powerful voice against the war. Imagine this. Young people, their faces painted with peace signs, chanting slogans and burning draft cards, burning bras. It's like a historical rock concert, but with a serious message that seriously should have been given differently. The war divided the nation, pitting hawks against doves and parents against their children. It was a time of intense social and political upheaval, with protests erupting on college campuses and in the streets of major cities. The media played a crucial role in shaping public opinion about the war. Television coverage brought the brutality of the conflict into American homes, challenging the official narrative and fueling anti-war sentiment. It's like a historical reality show, but with real-life consequences. The Tet Offensive, a turning point in public opinion. The Tet Offensive in 1968, a massive coordinated attack by the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese forces, was a turning point in the war. Although a military defeat for the Communists, the offensive shattered the illusion of American progress and further eroded public support for the war. Imagine this: a series of surprise attacks launched simultaneously across South Vietnam, including the U.S. Embassy in Saigon. It's like a historical blitzkrieg, but in the heart of a war zone. The Tet Offensive exposed the credibility gap between the government's optimistic pronouncements and the reality on the ground. It was a wake-up call for the American public, revealing the true cost and complexity of the war. The Tet Offensive led to a significant shift in public opinion, with many Americans questioning the government's handling of the war. It also contributed to President Lyndon B. Johnson's decision not to seek re-election. The aftermath, scars and lessons learned. The Vietnam War finally ended in 1975 with the fall of Saigon and the reunification of Vietnam under communist rule. The war left a deep scar on the American psyche, a legacy of disillusionment and mistrust. Imagine this: the chaotic evacuation of Saigon, with helicopters lifting off the rooftops as the city falls to communist forces. It's like an escape scene from a horror movie, but with an ultimately very tragic ending. The war also forced America to confront uncomfortable truths about its foreign policy, its military capabilities, and the human cost of war. The Vietnam War remains a complex and controversial chapter in American history, a reminder of the importance of critical thinking and the need to learn from the past. The Vietnam War has had a lasting impact on American society, shaping our views on war, government, and the role of the military. The war also highlighted the importance of public discourse and the need for transparency in the government. Want to dive deeper? HistoryRats.com has the stories. Don't just take our word for it. Explore the Vietnam War in all its complexity and depths at HistoryRats.com. We offer a wealth of articles, videos, and interactive resources. Join our online community and share your passion for history with fellow war enthusiasts. A war that changed America. The Vietnam War was a confusing, frustrating, and ultimately tragic conflict. It was a war fought in the jungles of Southeast Asia and in the streets of America. A war that divided a nation and left a lasting impact on the world and our veterans. So the next time you hear the words Vietnam War, remember the rice paddies, the rock and roll, and the protests that shook a nation. Remember the soldiers who fought and died, and the ones who came home and wished they hadn't. The civilians who suffered, and the lessons we learned about the cost of war. And remember, history is not just a collection of dates and facts. It's a living, breathing story that continues to shape our world. Until next time, be good to each other. And when you see a veteran, shake their hand and tell them thank you. Show them some appreciation. They deserve it. See you next week.